He brought over a travel pair of Bunion correctors. I repeat, a travel pair. I love this girl so much. Hi guys. Welcome back to the first 3-year anniversary episode of
Oh my
Girls
God.
Gotta Eat.
It's a bonus episode. Oh my gosh.
So
I can't believe it. It's like a real anniversary. Like this is really right about when we started the podcast.
Oh, I thought you meant because like 1 and 2 didn't matter.
Oh, no, I didn't care about those.
I didn't care about 2. I cared about 1 because like it's like we did it.
Yes. And I was totally kidding. You know, I care about all our anniversaries. I have like a super sentimental side. But also like the month of our second anniversary was the best month of our lives.
We had a billboard in Times Square last year. We were on a world tour. It just, who cared?
best time of our lives.
February 2020, best year of my life.
No one asked. Can't stress it enough. Are we going to be that person that peaked in 2020? Like how like high school athletes, they talk about their like old,
oh my God,
old
that was
glory days.
Year. Oh my God. No, I feel like we'll make a comeback in like December of 2021.
Okay.
We'll be.
No, totally. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Listen, I've never looked better, so this is my year.
I do feel good.
Like
my waist has gotten a little more snatched in the last 2 weeks.
Has it?
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you. You look great too.
Thank you so much. My hair's long. Okay.
Okay. I am so juiced up for this episode, and it was not our idea. And I'm going to say it right now. We had a whole other topic planned, and you're going to get that in April.
I was on my way out the door to come over to record.
Yep.
But you know what my favorite sentence that you say to me is, do you want to record a different day? I get ready. I'm just like all ready to walk out. There's nothing that I love more that like I will masturbate to more than somebody canceling plans on me last minute.
Yeah. Well, I think of that meme all the time. Like, it's, sorry, can we reschedule? It just got really windy out.
I'm trying to live my truth more though. I'm trying to just like flat out tell people I just don't want to. There's no excuse. I'm not coming because I don't want to.
I love saying sorry, I don't want to.
I just don't want. You did it the other day, and like so I didn't have to. And I was like, I like agonized how I was going to tell somebody I didn't want to go on this trip to this particular place. It was skiing. I don't like skiing. And you got in there and you were just like, I was like, what excuse am I going to make? And you were like, no.
I get invited on probably 2 to 3 ski trips a year, and I'm like, oh, I don't do that.
I don't want to do it.
Well,
I don't said no.
Yeah, and it's like I love winter and outdoors and nature's air conditioning. You know, I love cold weather. I love après ski. I love everything about it, but I don't really like going on ski trips because I feel like an outsider, and I don't like the way it feels. You and I would go, and you and I would sit in the house alone together and read and cook and drink, but like we do that in New York. So what I really want to do, which is probably not going to happen this year, but I want to do a winter vacation that doesn't include skiing because I am dying to A, dog sled, B, walk around in snowshoes, C, snowmobile, because you know I love to jet ski. So of course snowmobiling is like my vibe. So
that would be fun.
I'm like really love all that stuff. It's just kind of the skiing's not for me. And I just, it's one of those things. My dad skis all the time. My brother skis. All my friends ski pretty much. And it's just like, I love that I found a fellow non-skier because every ski season I hate it. And I'm just waiting for it to be over because I hate Instagram because I feel like a fucking dork.
Okay. So here's like also the trick, and you guys tell us where we should go that like has this, but like if you go to like Nemacolin Woodlands, it's
home of The Bachelor.
It's just like a ski resort. There's nothing to do there. If you go to like a town like Aspen, there's actually like restaurants, bars, fun stuff to do like while you're not skiing. So like there's actually stuff to do. So I think that's the trick. Go to a town.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I did a ski trip. This was a couple years ago with all my Atlanta friends. We went to Breckenridge and like I got a massage one day and then I would just meet them and drink. I skied one day. I am not a good skier. I hadn't skied in years. They brought me up on a black. My friend Travis had to help me down. I would go 10 feet, fall.
Down? Did you sit down on your butt?
It was
all the way down?
so bad.
I would do that too.
And another girlfriend like was there and she goes, have fun, and skied off. And Travis had to help me. It was like so bad.
It would scare the shit out of me. Also, I had a ski accident when I was like 13 where like I slipped on some ice and I like got really fucked up. So it's not for me. I don't know why we're talking about this.
Why did this happen?
I'm sharing our truth. Okay, I don't want to put all that fucking clothing on. I don't want to be cold. I don't want to like lug my ass up a mountain and just like go down. It's like the joy I get from that is not the joy I get is on the swing on the way up.
So this one ski trip we took, I can ski a little bit. I don't really enjoy it and I'm not good. So I can go down like the small hills and stuff like that. I know how to ski, barely. And we went, and this is 4 or 5 girls so many years ago. I think I was the winter, like when I was home from freshman year in college. So it was like 18. And we went skiing. We had a really fun girls trip, went skiing one day, like up in, I don't know, Pennsylvania, whatever. And Corey is so good at skiing. Shocker. She's just so good at like athletic stuff. This is like my best friend aside from Raina and Kate, Corey. And she hadn't fallen all day. She was killing it. And I rode up the lift with her. And as we got off the lift, I got all fucked up and our skis got crossed and she fell. She was so pissed. She was like, bitch, I haven't fallen all day. You made me fall.
I'm that person. I make people fall. I fall. I'll get crushed by the ski lift getting off.
And then I dropped one of my poles going up the hill. I just dropped it.
You killed a person? You killed a person.
No, they're like so late. So I dropped it. Corey was like, oh my God. She was like, I'll ski down. You take mine. I'll ski down with one pole. You know, she's just so good. She can just ski without poles. She gave me her pole. She skied down with one pole and she found my pole and it had been sliced in half. Someone skied over it.
You could have killed somebody, first of all, if it came straight down onto them, or if they had slipped. I don't know why we're still talking about this.
You're right. Now I feel bad.
Yeah, you should. But I mean, listen, not many people were on the mountain.
Not many people. Yeah. No, it wasn't like super crowded. And I think I wasn't that far up it. It didn't fall that, but who just drops their pole hanging off? I'm just the worst.
Children.
I was one time on a ski trip and I got off the lift and my skis just went wherever and I veered to the right and I skied right into a ski school, a circle of kids.
A ski school.
And took a kid out. They were like, they were doing a lesson.
You know, I can show up at ski school, by the way, because you have like the masks on and the hood and the jacket and everything. And like, you don't really know how old anybody is. And I'm the size of a child. Like,
oh my God, you're so right.
I could go up to a ski school and people would just think I was one of the 12-year-olds.
You're totally right. But yeah, I skied like I was like, oh no. And I just kept going. I plowed through 2 kids. And I fell in the middle they were in a circle and I was in the middle of their circle.
You fucked up the circle. This is so funny.
No, people love to ski with me because it's so funny.
I know.
I'm so bad. Now I just don't go. I'm living my truth. I don't ski.
It feels good to say no.
Yeah.
Just say no. Obviously, life is short. We all know that now. So say no to shit you don't like. It feels awesome.
Okay. What is going on?
Okay. We have a great episode planned for you guys today.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we got off track, but like I said, this was inspired by a listener that emailed us. We were ready to record a whole different topic for this bonus episode, which we have another one coming in April, allegedly. So you'll get to hear what that was about then. It's already planned out. But anyway, this was an email from a listener named Olivia. And she wrote I love this so much. She wrote, with the podcast anniversary coming up, it might be cool to check in with some famous guests or stories like Footjob Girl to see where they're at now. Another thing could be asking how your audience lives have changed from the start of the podcast till now. For example, when the podcast started in 2018, I was teaching 5th grade and dating my boyfriend long distance. Over the past 3 years, I dealt with a long distance relationship for 2 years, then found out he was cheating on me for 6 months, struggled through a heartbreaking breakup, was inspired to make a change in career path, and I just graduated with a master's degree from UGA. Now I'm single, navigating the apps, and planning on moving to ATL to further my career and social life. Y'all have seriously guided me through it all. So we wanted to credit her because we want to give credit where it's due, and we're going to do everything she said. So exactly. She outlined the episode.
So now you guys know what it's about. But what we're going to do today is obviously, of course, dedicate this episode to you guys. We're going to talk about Olivia. How we've grown in 3 years, specifically Olivia. I mean, you guys know how we've grown. We're not going to like harp on it too much. We talk about how we've grown and how much we love you every single week. But we're going to catch you up on our former guests and what they have going on. We're going to check in with some like really crazy emails we've gotten over the years. We have updates on all of them. Yeah. Obviously talk about how our lives have changed. And that's it. This episode is dedicated to you guys. Also to us because we worked really hard for the last 3 years to make the show. And we are just so honored that you guys are still here with us and wrote it out.
And if you are a newer listener and you're like, I don't know who these people are, these stories are, like, we will tell you the original story. So we're not just gonna be like, anyway, so Bunion Girl, and you have no background. So if you're new here, this episode, you'll be able to follow along.
Yeah.
And they're all like such incredible stories. You guys, these ones, we knew which ones people would probably ask for, but we crowdsourced it anyway. So do you want to talk about where you are now? You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'm in your apartment.
my beautiful apartment that I am able to live in because of this podcast.
Actually, it's funny. It's the first thing I wrote down about where I am now. I moved from Brooklyn to Manhattan.
You're literally where, yeah, you had such a big move.
I lived in Manhattan. I lived in Brooklyn for 8 years, which is nice. I went from never being on a stage in my entire life to selling out 75 shows.
Yours is going to be so much better than mine.
No, it's
life
not.
Has changed so much.
It's almost
more.
over.
No, keep going.
I went from never working out my entire life to 5-6 days a week I work out. My hair is growing. I got new teeth.
Oh my God. Mine's not as good. Okay, keep popping off. I respect it.
You know, you and I have talked about like how we've personally grown in terms of like our knowledge since we started the podcast. I think we've always given really great advice, and I'm always proud of the content we put out since day one. We talk about that a lot. But in these 3 years, I think that you and I have really like made it our business to like learn about every psychological theory about dating, relationships, love, really read the books of the people that come on the show, psychological theories, psychiatrists, writers, authors. So I'm really proud that we have like really made it our business to like go out and get a degree in these things. And I'm proud of the advice I'm able to give today. I was proud of the advice I gave day one too, but I'm like really proud of it.
And to
today.
give yourself.
And I have one more thing I want to say, but maybe I'll let you talk about how your life has changed. I'm going to talk about a little more like bigger.
Okay. I mean, not to like get too cheesy with it, but I just found my purpose in life. Like ultimately, I've never felt so fulfilled. Like this is exactly where I needed to be.
I said I got teeth, and now you're saying a beautiful thing.
No,
okay.
I mean, I pretty much look the same, right? Still haven't gotten fillers. Like I'm still out here, same face. Yeah. Hopefully, I do look. Sometimes I look back, I'm like, who is she? She looks so young, but it's fine. No, I found my like true purpose in life. I mean, before Girls Gotta Eat, I was doing influencer stuff, Bros Being Basic, stand up, writing. So I was moving in the right direction, but I just hadn't put it all together yet and figured it all quite out. And I knew there was more for me. And I really just wanted to make an impact. I wanted to empower women in some way. I wanted to talk about relationships. I wanted to make people laugh. And that's all the reasons like I wanted to start this. And if you guys really want more info on how we started this podcast, we did a bonus episode in 2020, how GGE came to be. And that's our origin story. But, I found what I need to do in life. I feel so fulfilled. And I mean, prior to the pandemic, like I felt like I was living in a dream, but like a dream that I created for myself, like that we created for ourselves. And I just had so many years of working toward this and struggling for money and feeling like I was behind and seeing other people get ahead and wondering, you know, like I have so much self-confidence and I always knew I was destined for big things, but still just wondering if I would ever get there. Like you never know for sure. And so this was just the thing for me. You know, I don't have to right now, at least I don't have to worry about money, which is nice, you know, and our career is on a great trajectory. Obviously it could be better with outside of a pandemic, but we're just going to keep doing more and more and not get complacent. And one day I'll finally write a fucking book. And we have some really fun, exciting things happening in the next year that we can't wait to share with you guys. And yeah, I mean, that's ultimately for me. I can kick it back to you. And I still want to talk a little bit about dating and just kind of like evolving as a person, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah. So, you know, 2 things I've learned, especially this year, and things you guys have taught me is first thing is, you know, of course, the weight of your words, and, you know, to be more careful and more thoughtful about what you say and how you express yourself and things that you think are funny or that you think are edgy, and, you know, really taking into account what other people are going through and other people's story and what they've gone through. And so, of course, you know, no one wants to be told that they're wrong or not funny or not nice, but I've at least learned about the weight of our words. And the other thing that you guys have really taught me that I didn't even really realize, because I grew up in such a sex positive home and I grew up really empowered to talk about a lot of things, but I didn't really realize how many women were constantly shamed for every single thing that they thought and felt and wanted to do. And, you know, whether it's that you want to touch yourself and masturbate, you want to have better sex with your partner, talking about abortions and miscarriages and sexual assault. And I didn't know how many women felt so afraid to talk about these things, because my mom always told me my whole life, if something happens to you, you tell somebody. If you feel something, you tell somebody. And I didn't realize how many women were told to be quiet and to sit down and to not say those things. And so if you and I can be the people that normalize that conversation and make people feel not alone and make people feel like, oh my God, other people are going through this, then like, I'm so excited by that. And whether it's something really huge, like we've encouraged people to report an assault, or something really fun and wonderful, like we've encouraged them to masturbate more.
Do butt stuff. Yeah.
And get something in your butthole. I'm really proud to have the stage to normalize those kind of conversations. And I think we've earned it, you know, like I think that you and I have made it our business to be an expert in this field and to support women. And we've done that through listening to your messages.
Yeah. I can't believe we get to do it. It's like such an honor, and I just want to like not ever fuck it up. But I mean, I feel like I've just continued to evolve and change as a person. I feel like I've become more empathetic. I have always had a drive to help people in need, but like more than ever, and just kind of like give back and use my voice for good. And a lot of this is just kind of like growing up and paying more attention. This is not necessarily just related to the podcast, but just we all grow up and change. And I just feel like I have gotten more empathetic and compassionate. And, you know, we just hear and digest so many stories from, like you said, from our listeners, from our guests. And yes, realizing everyone has their own struggle. Everyone is not like you, brought up like you. They don't think like you. They weren't raised like you. And it just ultimately that is empathy and compassion. And I hope, and I feel like I am constantly just becoming a better person with the help of what we've been able to do.
I've seen you really, I mean, honestly, really put your money where your mouth is through the pandemic. You've done so many amazing charitable things, and I'm so impressed. And I want to talk about our relationship in 3 years, because now we've known each other for about 3.5 years at this point. But, you know, I see a lot of like work relationships just like blow up and dissolve, and people's egos get involved and they can't work together. And I think the narrative is that women can't work together and that they'll hate each other. And it's just like, that hasn't been the case for us. And I think our relationship's like better than it ever has been. And I'm like so proud of our partnership. And we talk about that all the time, but like I think that we both work really hard, and I think there's like a great balance, and I'm really proud of like that we have grown in the exact same direction in 3 years.
Gosh, we're so blessed. Like it's not just women, it's rare for anybody. You see men break up all the time. It's just business partners in general. Like what we have is like so it's so sacred. And you know, we've learned a lot, and a lot of this was baptism by fire. How do you start a podcast? How do you start a merchandise company? How do you build a website? How do you build a cool Instagram account? You know, a lot of this was just trial and error, baptism by fire, working 7 days a week. We get messages saying like, how do I start a podcast? How do I do X, Y, and Z? We opened up the computer and Googled it and worked really hard every single day for a lot of years. So this doesn't just happen overnight. This is something we worked really, really hard on. And if you want to do something, put your head down and do it. Yeah. And I just, our relationship is so special. I mean, like, I just feel like I found like a lifelong partner in you. And I mean, yes, I have best friends. I had best friends before. Kate and Corey are still my best friends. They're like family. They're always there for me. And my other friends too. I have incredible, amazing friends, and a lot of them. But like, you've just become this like life partner, this business partner. I know you have my back at all times. It's just different. Like we are family, but we're more than that too. Like it's really special. And I don't know, this is so cheesy, but you always hear like these people on reality shows and just in general say like, I want to find a partner to build an empire with. And it's like, you really want to do that with your husband or wife, but go off. But like, we really did it together. We like built a dream together. Like it's just the most special thing in the world. And I feel so happy about it. And I mean, as far as like dating and love, I mean, let's not forget when we started this podcast, I said I wanted to get engaged that year. Like now I don't even know if I want to get engaged ever, you know, like I feel like I have so much love and respect for myself. And I realize you don't need a romantic partner to fulfill you, to complete you. I've said it so many times. I feel like the biggest realization I feel like I did have was at the end of maybe 2018. So I talked about this the first episode of 2019 of like, you don't get to come in and like fuck me up anymore. And I feel like I have such a strong grasp on what marriage and long-term relationships look like, and that they're not necessarily for everyone. And I still don't know what will happen with me. We all know I don't want children, but like, I just feel like if I am true to myself and I stay authentic to myself and I'm open to love or whatever, I have confidence that it will work out for me, whatever that may be. And I know so much more about guys and how they think and how they act. And I don't take things as personally. I know we say this all the time, and I don't let myself feel as rejected and sad about guys as I used to prior to the show. It's a nice feeling of like control. Like I feel so much more in control of myself, my emotions, my happiness. Like I control my life. I control my happiness. You don't get to come in here. And of course I get down. I'm a human. You're a human. We get upset, but like it rolls off our back quicker. We don't let it take over our lives. And I know so much of that is just like how we've been able to like find our purpose, feel more fulfilled, and just all that we've learned and like the information that we've amassed and how it's helped us kind of live our truth.
Aw, I always felt like I sort of colored outside the lines a little bit. And like my mom said to me, you always march to the beat of your own drum. And I sort of took that as an insult. I don't think she meant it as an insult, but I was like, well, I don't want to be like that. I want to be like all the other girls that are satisfied with this like 9-to-5 job. And I want to be like everybody else that got married at 27 and has kids. And I thought for so long, like, what's wrong with me that like I don't fit into that box and that's not what my life looks like. And number one, like, why isn't that working out for me? And then also like, why don't I really want these things necessarily? Why am I not satisfied with this? And this podcast has really made me feel like that's okay. And like you said, you found your purpose. And we were talking about this offline the other day, but like, I think people put so much stock into the relationship and finding the relationship, and really a relationship, when you think about all the things in your life, the relationships you have with your friends and your family, your jobs, your hobbies, your body, your health, the only thing you don't have control over is another person and who you're dating. And we put so much stock into those things. And what I did, even though we have a dating and relationship podcast, is I put so much stock into all those other things for 3 years. I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mom my whole life, or my brother, and my relationships with all those people are so great right now. We've built a good network, and I'm proud of my life. And I've always said, if a man comes along, then great. And if they don't, then that's fine too. And I don't mind being single. And for so long, I felt like, what's wrong with me? And like, why am I so outside of the lines of what other people get to have? And it's like, just because other people have those things don't make them happy.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they won't end. I've done what you and I've always said, which is to just build a life that I'm proud of. And so for 3 years, I've worked on that. That's what I've done.
Oh my God. This is like meaning a lot. I
love you. Yeah. I'm not done with you.
God, I wish some guy would like say that to me in the bedroom.
Some guy told me he was going to stroke his cock to my Instagram all night. And I was oh my God, that's amazing. No, but about you though, and I wanted to just like plug you one more time. I've always...
Just can't recommend me enough.
Can't recommend working with Ashley enough. I know that you always put us first, put the business first, and I trust you. And you've never done anything in 3 years that have made me feel like, what's going on here? And I don't trust this person. And again, I think that's hard to come by.
That and just the work ethic. Like we talked about this before. We don't need to hammer it home anymore. Like, I asked you to do this, and I had been like low key vetting you prior to that, of like figuring out if you were someone that liked to work hard and was smart and creative. And it's like, but I still didn't know, you didn't know really enough about me. And so we just like, we're so lucky. Like, I think we work hard. It's not luck that we've built this successful business, but it's lucky that we found each other, and lucky that like we are so honest and transparent with each other. We share a bank account. Like, we're in pretty deep, and we had 1 week. Raina was so sick. She couldn't work. It was before we had 2 holiday shows. I had to plan them all, and Raina could not work. She physically could not work. I've had days recently I could not work. I was crying. I was so devastated. Like, you have to pick up the slack. Like, it's how it is with any real partner in your life, any, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Like, it's a business relationship, but like, that's what it's all about, is like someone picks up the slack and someone makes your life easier when you can. And that's why people enter into partnerships. They want that, they need that. And like, we have that with each other.
Yeah. We wouldn't have this community if it wasn't for you guys. And you guys have such amazing ideas, and this whole episode was inspired by a listener.
Yeah.
Half of the emails in this episode are about listeners, and that's what makes us work so hard on this. So it's for you guys.
Yeah. My small things, I fulfilled my lifelong dream of going to Australia. Koalas. That's, I flew Delta One. The first time doing that.
I got to go to the lounge.
And I mean, I really do love where I live. It's so important. I moved to New York. I moved into a trap house that shouldn't have been inhabited. Our first studio was not legit. I really feel like I shouldn't have lived there. I don't think it was safe or anything. I don't think it was up to code in any way. And that's what I could afford at the time. And I've upgraded my life. I love where I live. I'm happy every day. This is a small apartment, but it's like my favorite place to be. And that meant a lot too. That September 1st of 2019 was like really a really special day for me when I moved into here.
I was here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do anything. It was great.
You unpacked a mug. Okay. So maybe we will actually just run through a few of our partners before we get into it. And just to tease what's coming next is all the people you want to know about.
Yeah, we got
former guests,
all of them.
Bunions, Foot Job, all the things.
And we didn't leave anything out. Just so you guys know, we went through every single former episode, and We got the tea on all of them.
We got the tea. Okay. Okay.
I am so excited about this. Okay, so Ashley and I went back through all of our former episodes, looked up every guest, and we're friends with a lot of them. And we have lots of pregnancy announcements, marriage announcements, engagement announcements, one divorce announcement. Ashley and I, none of those things happened for me and Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not every single guest. It's like the ones that really have something happen. And we're sorry if we forgot anybody, but it's not every single guest we've had in the history of the podcast. That would take like an hour, but like just the ones that really have updates. And of course, you guys can always follow these people on Instagram and see these updates for yourself, but we thought we would share some. So I'll kick it off. Let's see. Andrew, Colin, and Nikki Glazer, we have them together. Well, they live together. They live together in St. Louis. They are starting a new podcast in March. You guys can check that out. They'll both be on it. Chris DiStefano, another baby on the way. I don't know if this is, we're allowed to announce this. He's talked about in his podcast. We're not like breaking the news. He's having another baby with the same woman. Yeah. I think he's having another girl.
I mean, he was so clearly still in love with her years ago when he was on our show.
Yeah. And he's a girl dad now. Amy Fraser, we talked about her terrible breakup and cheating situation, and she was in New Zealand with her child and her boyfriend, and they are engaged. Dale, we're working with Dale.
Dale's single on the.
Well, we thought he was, but now he's like spotted with Claire. We don't know what's going on, guys. But prior to that news, we've been texting a little, not like that, but we are trying to get him on an upcoming episode. He's expressed to me like he wants to come on the podcast, but he just wants to let things simmer down a little bit. So Dale's doing okay. Connor Beaton and Vienna Farron, they had a baby. Having a baby. So that's their...
That ship has sailed.
No, we respect their marriage, but we love Connor. But yeah, so they're locked in. Casey Balsham and her, was she engaged?
She's engaged when she came on the show.
She was engaged. They had like a COVID small wedding. I don't even think they really had it. But yeah, so they were planning a wedding, COVID hit. So they ended up getting married. Andrew Schultz is engaged. Shan Boudram had her baby. Derek Paith is engaged.
Like living in Iowa or something now.
Yeah.
He's off the map.
Eden Grinchpan is pregnant with baby number 2. Hannah Berner has a boyfriend, and I have a crush on him.
He's fucking hot.
I'm going on her podcast in a couple weeks, and I'm like, am I going to tell her? Like, I don't want to make it weird. You know, he's older, and he's so sexy. Okay. Heather McMahon got married? Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, married. They just did like a little wedding.
Okay.
And then I'm going to kick it to you.
I was going to let you read this one, but listen, I watched the show so much. Shep, one of our first guests like years ago. Shep Rose has a girlfriend, which is crazy. It's funny that we've announced that 2 people are just in relationships.
Because you never would have seen it coming.
He is a girlfriend. Crispy, our very first guest ever, got married and moved to the middle of nowhere.
They moved?
Yeah, they live in like upstate New York. They have like a farm estate, and they're just like constantly working on this farm estate. So like Derek Paith, they just like left the city. Courtney and Casey, who were on our show 2 summers ago, got married also.
That was a lot. Yeah. Courtney McGinnis, Casey James Salengo, last episode we ever had in the Old House studio, and they were engaged. They had been killing it. They graduated from couples therapy, and they got married.
Sydney Washington, who could not be more beautiful, is now like a chef on Instagram and a cat lady. Actually, cat lady. Mike Cannon, if you'll remember, Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney were on our show in June of 2019. Mike Cannon had his baby, and Mike Feeney got a dog.
And can I tell you that I helped him with his dog announcement? I said you should do an ultrasound like of the dog, like of a dog, and post it.
Mira Shah, who was our doctor that we had on the show for our episode about abortion recently, is very recently engaged. Yeah. We have one divorce, which we're not going to announce.
We're not going to announce it, but somebody got divorced.
So many of our guests have put out books, comedy specials, TV shows in the last year. So, always just follow along with these people. We have people on the show that we love and respect, and we love and respect their work, and we're really excited to promote it. So always follow along with these people. There's tons of really, really great content that they've all put out over the last couple years.
Before we get into our best listener submission stories, someone wrote that they wanted just updates on the guys we talked about with Michaela's reading. Okay. So we had Mystic Michaela on. She read our auras, and she read the auras of guys that we had dated, and that was in the summer, this past summer. And she did more serious acts for me, and then a guy that I dated casually, and she was spot on. Nothing with my XX. That's, I mean, whatever. I'm sure that's still accurate, whatever she said, if you want to listen back. But the other guy, it was spot on. She was like, he's not going to have sex with you. Like, it's just not going to really progress anymore. Because we had been dating before, whatever. And the pandemic kind of threw a wrench into it. And then Kelly pulled a card on that guy too. We talked about this with her when she came on, and she said, I just see you getting disappointed. Like, they both were so spot on. Like, everything they said about him was accurate. So now, obviously, she's incredible.
Now I believe in psychics. That's my 3-year update. I really didn't used to believe in this stuff. And it's just like, we've been blown away by these people.
And then yours,
we have 2 of them.
Held true, I guess. I mean, you saw that guy.
Mine held true. So there was one about somebody who like I didn't actually date. I was just like so in love with, and she was like, "That's just not the guy for you." And I've just sort of like watched his life over the last year, and I'm like, "Oh, you don't live a life that I like."
Yeah.
The other one is actually that's the guy that I spent like Christmas and New Year's with, who I said that like I had spent a bunch of time with. We like rekindled things through the fall, and just like she said, he just wants to live on a boat and I don't know, sail off into nowhere. And he's like happy for me and proud of me, but like our lives don't mesh in any way. And I don't think he like shames me for it, but like that's just where our lives are going to lie. So like that's how our life is going to be. And so she was dead on about that too.
Yeah. I've asked her about 2 things since. I asked her, can I send her a picture of a house I was looking at buying? And it's crazy. She said, you can have this if you want it, but you're not going to. And I was like, why would I not? I got kind of mad about it. We went down there to see it. It was at the beach and I didn't. And it was part of the neighborhood, like whatever. She nailed it. I asked her about this dog situation. I don't really need to get into it. She nailed that too. She's just incredible. So we're just going to give an update on her that she's still incredible. We miss her every day.
It's hard for me to not text her literally all the time.
Yeah.
Because I had a situation with a guy in the fall also, who Kelly told me, I don't know, she did a reading. I cried. It was fine. It was hard to not text Michaela, but yeah, that guy's life sucks too now also. So listen, it's just, your update is that everybody who's not dating us, their life sucks now.
Yeah, exactly. And they've glowed down.
Really hard.
Always. Okay. Should we get into a few of our best stories? We crowdsourced these and we really got so many the same that you guys wanted to hear about. So we're going to do that. A couple things. There was a few that we did get updates on and that just weren't, I don't want to say appropriate. There's one that you guys wanted, and I talked to him. It's a guy, and you can take your guesses, and he just didn't feel comfortable. I've been talking to him for years now, so I got, I got updates on him before. It was a situation that we went over with one of our former guests, and he just was like, I'm past this. It wasn't a great thing for me, and I'm in a better place now, and I actually don't want you guys to talk about it. So I was like, sure. So if you're like, why didn't you talk about this person? That could be why.
Yeah, we want to respect everybody, and there's nobody we're going to talk about today that we didn't check in with. We got permission and then thank, and that they know that they were really. But again, also if you're a newer listener, we've done so many segments over the years. One was called "Is It Weird?" inspired by a listener. Psycho or Power Move.
Is this weird, Rena? Is it weird?
What did I say?
You said, is it weird?
I did?
Just get it right.
Forgot.
It's our show.
This took a turn. We've done so many segments, and so these are all inspired by those different ones that we've read on the podcast. And do you want to start? We're going to catch you up on the stories first. Do you want to read about Foot Job Girl?
Yeah, let's just come out of the gate with Foot Job Girl. We're friends. We became friends. So I already knew this. I already knew everything was going on, but I said, can you just write us a quick update to like in a concise, paragraph so we can read it on the show? And she said, absolutely. The background is this was just a girl that was dating this guy she thought was really great, and he wanted foot jobs. We talked about it with Jared and Jordana, and we were like, no big deal. He'll probably just want a foot job, and then that'll be it. So that was a pretty simple story. We don't need to read the original email. It was just about this guy wanting foot jobs, and they did continue to date. They kind of they had a serious relationship. Okay. She said, foot job guy broke my heart fall of 2019, very unexpectedly. I was devastated for a long time as this was my first real heartbreak, but now I see that this was for the best. He told me to never tell anyone about what we did, so naturally I told the entire GGE Facebook page and made hundreds of friends. She said, I'm very happy with my life now. I just graduated college. I have amazing girlfriends, and I'm building a career path I'm proud of. I spread the foot job gospel whenever possible. A few months ago, I met some GGE fans in my neighborhood in South Boston and taught them how to give a foot job.
Did she tell you what
in
she
public
used? Did she tell you what she used?
No.
Damn it.
Okay, I'll get more on the side. Oh my God, let me finish this. I taught them how to give a foot job in public on the side of the street. That's amazing. to walk by that. I have yet to find someone special enough to use my talents on since, but I'm in no rush. I'm living my life for myself and for the new podcast episode every Monday morning. And she's wonderful. Her and I chat.
She's an OG fan. Ashley becomes friends with so many of you guys. If you know, we talked about this for years. I become friends with every single person that's ever worked for us. Like every person has been a photographer for us in Eddie City. All of our graphic designers.
You're closer with like those kind of people, and I get closer with like the fans.
I'm friends with the people we paid.
I know. I had to tell Raina not to invite our accountant to her birthday party one year. I was like, you have to stop this.
So true.
You got kind of mad. I was like, we have to draw the line somewhere.
You told me that I wasn't allowed to invite someone to my own birthday party. And I didn't even question it. I was actually a little embarrassed I even suggested it.
Look, so we do, our agents, we love them, we're friends with them, we hang out with them, but I was like, we have to draw the line at our accountants, Raina. You cannot invite the accountants to your birthday party. It's too close for comfort.
They're not accountants, they're our business managers. Like, they know more about you than they know all my Grubhub orders.
Are they CPAs?
I don't know.
Am I right? No.
They're Jewish.
One of them. Oh my God.
They know more about us. They probably know more about me than you know about me.
I gotta keep on my Grubhub orders. We gotta draw that line. Okay.
This is an email that made us laugh out loud. This is Bunion Girl.
This is maybe we're coming out a little too strong. Are we going to be able to continue this?
Well, those are like our two most famous
Continue
emails.
this heat?
No, we can't.
Okay.
We got some
we got
shit.
butthole, dad, girl. Yeah.
Butthole.
We have rosewater. We have spaghetti hands. Yeah, we got them all. Okay, let's go. Let's do bunions.
We have all that here.
This is, okay, let's be honest. This is probably the funniest, most iconic email we've ever read on the show. And this was very early on. It's 2018.
Yes. And we also, we really dig deep to find emails that aren't just about weird sex stuff, like just weird stuff in general.
Okay. I'm almost positive this was the first Is This Weird segment.
Really?
I'm almost positive, but don't DM me if I'm wrong.
Okay. All right. So the original email, if you guys haven't been listening, I've been dating this guy for about 3 months and we're super comfortable with each other already. However, I was sleeping in his house and he told me that his bunions hurt and he had to sleep with his bunion correctors. I said, sure, because I'm not an asshole. He whips out the scariest thing I've ever seen. Basically, these are splints for your bunions. But the most cringeworthy part was when he was clacking around like a horse, walking around in his bunion correctors. It sounded like he was wearing hooves. I could not live. I was immediately...
It's like bringing me back to mouth media reading this.
It's clacking around.
The way you said clacking. Yes, and you did that.
I was immediately dried up and couldn't have sex with him that night. Is this a deal breaker? Am I being too sensitive? Is this weird?
And then we touch base. Her name's Tori. She said we could say her name. So shout out to Tori. Love this girl.
Tori. I hope this is as funny to you guys that there's a man just clacking around in his apartment.
It was the email itself, the hooves
clacking around.
And then we said, Raina goes, buy him socks, carpet your apartment, do whatever you need to do so he's not clacking around. And you admitted later that you weren't really paying attention at the beginning of me reading the email. And then you piped up. And when you said carpet your apartment, I lost my mind. It's one of my favorite moments of the podcast.
It was hot in that studio and there was bugs and I just sometimes just zoned out. I forgot where I was. Okay, we have an update. Okay, so she says
you blacked back in and you were like, buy him socks, carpet your apartment, whatever you have to do so he's not clacking around.
All right. Of course, I will fill you guys in on Bunion Guy. Bunion Guy is no longer R.I.P. He didn't die. I'll try to keep it brief, but I'm going to give you guys all the important details. First of all, I need to mention this. After he debuted his prized bunion correctors to me at his apartment, the next time he slept over my apartment, he brought over a travel pair of bunion correctors. I repeat, a travel pair.
I love this girl so much.
I cannot. I don't know. I didn't know bunion correctors were a thing before him, let alone a travel pair. I was shell shocked and told him he could leave them in my apartment again because I'm not an asshole. About a month after I wrote this to you guys, things with Bunion Guy fell apart. I think whipping out the bunion correctors gave him a new sense of comfort around me, and basically he started expecting our relationship to move extremely fast. He told me he wanted to get engaged within the year, but never once considered my feelings / plans. I told him I wasn't ready and he was moving too fast, and ultimately I ended the relationship because of this. I guess when a girl doesn't run away spooked from you clacking around in your bunion correctors, you want to put a ring on it. Now I'm dating this amazing guy for 1.5 years and he is bunion free. # blessed. Also, you can absolutely use my first name because I hope I was I was able...
This is so good.
I hope I was able to bring bunion corrector awareness to the Chi community. Stay woke out there. Also, she attached a photo of the bunion correctors he had. Yes, they are extremely orthopedic and would dry any girl up. Love, Tori/Bunion Guys X.
Oh God, you guys are so funny.
I love when you guys write the punchlines.
Yes, like no jokes needed. Okay,
Bunion awareness.
That's the Bunion girl update. Okay, let's get back into it. I'm going to do a quick one, just tell you guys what happened because you asked, and then I'm going to talk about movie theater anal girl. Her and I have been chatting. Okay. So if you guys remember, I went on this date where this was back in September, I believe, early September, late August, and the waiter sprayed me in the face with this rose water. Come to find out, that waiter was fucking one of our listeners' moms. That was like her booty. That was like her booty call, and I asked her if her mom is still booty calling that waiter, and she said she had like the cry laughing emojis. And she said, I don't believe they're together in that way anymore, but they have this connection or whatever. And she says he's a really important person to her. I wish I knew how to explain that dynamic in an easy way. But last time I got an unwarranted update from my mom on her dating life, she was seeing someone else. Her mom went through a divorce and her mom like has multiple dudes in the mix. Her mom's like sort of an icon. Yeah, we talked about it. She wrote a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to get into her mom's personal business, but she's got like guys and she's got bros in different area codes, all different countries. And then she had the young waiter, like her mom's like, I was like, is your mom an icon?
Living her best divorce life. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, she said, in the past 2-3 years of my parents' divorce, post-divorce experience makes me want to write a memoir. So, I guess Rosewater Waiter is still part of her mom's life, but she has too many other guys in the mix, so she doesn't really care. And I'll tell you guys about movie theater anal. This was when we asked you guys like crazy stuff you'd done when you were younger, like your younger childhood, teenage years. And her submission was, with my first boyfriend in high school when I was 16, I did anal in a movie theater with his brother and mom a few rows up. I got away with it, thank God, but I farted cum in the bathroom, which was gross. Okay, that is just... Do you remember that part?
I don't actually remember that part.
Maybe we didn't read it, but
no,
anyway,
we did not read that part because I would remember it.
All right. So
wow.
You guys really were like, that's not possible, yada, yada.
I was like, that's not possible. And his mom's in the room.
So she sent me even a video to like, she's cute. She's so great. And she was like, I promise you, I'm not lying. I know you guys think I'm lying, but I'm not. And she gave me and I asked her like I was like, can you give me like all the tea? And she was like, of course, I'll give you all the tea. She said he was my first boyfriend. I lost my virginity to. I started dating when I was 15. The anal situation happened when I was 16. The movie was a Kristen Stewart movie. It was like called like American something. I don't know. It's something you guys probably don't know about. And she was on her period. So she had a tampon and they couldn't do normal sex. And she was like, I was young and sprite at the time. Anal didn't hurt. Now it does, but that's besides the point. And she said, the first time I did anal with him, my boyfriend at the time, this sounds like a lie and this is super embarrassing for me. So seriously, please keep this entire situation anonymous, please. She said, but I shit on his dick. The first time we did anal, I cried and started freaking out. He was super nice and calm and had baby wipes. Guys, that's so normal, by the way. Like there's anal, usually there's
poop up there, okay?
Poopy involved. And so she was like, that first was clearly not traumatizing enough for me not to do it again. So yeah, the movie theater time was just one of the many anal situations with that first boyfriend of mine. Since then, I haven't done anal with any guy. I don't know why. It just hurts too much now. I guess anal was my high school thing because now I'm 22 and I eat ass. And then she sent me this really funny video. She's so cute. And she said, again, please keep this anonymous. So that's the update on movie theater girl. She eats ass.
Let me see the video. The video is her like showing you how she...
No. The video was just her being like, I know this sounds crazy. I need you to see my face and know that I'm not lying.
She was like, I had my period as a whole thing. It's like, you just don't have to fuck in a movie theater. Like, no one was making you. She was like, it was this weird situation. We're at the movies, so we had to fuck.
Yes.
And his mom was there, so we definitely had to fuck.
And his brother.
Right? And so he got on the floor in the movie theater.
Oh, you're right. Okay. That was an update we had talked about before. The first time she actually tagged us in a story, I reposted her story. This was a while back. And she goes, hi, I'm movie theater anal girl. And then I was like, oh my God, girl, we've been dying to talk to you. And so I did ask Hal. She said he was laying on the ground and I like wrote him and we were hiding behind the seats since we were on the floor. So yes. And then I gave you that update and you were like, he was laying on a dirty movie theater floor.
Again, there's no grosser floor. It there. Yeah. No one is making you fuck in a movie theater. And this guy was like, we're doing it. I'm going to get on the floor in a movie theater. I can't get over it, guys.
Okay. Next, we're doing one of Raina's favorites. This is an email. We use it in our YouTube reel. It's a classic. This is Dad Butthole.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to get to do this. Okay. Dad butthole.
Let's do the original email for this because it's a good one. Okay.
Oh my God, of course. Okay. My dad has a key to my house because he often comes over to check on the dogs, etc. A few months ago, I had brought a dude from Hinge home one night. The next morning, we were fooling around and my dad comes over unannounced and walks in on me butt ass naked on all fours, giving the dude a blowjob. I was on top of the sheets on my bed. So there was literally no time to react or pull anything over me. There was nothing to save me. My dad saw everything. He freaked, shut the door, and ran out. The guy looked at me and said, I think I just locked eyes with your dad. I said, yeah, well, I think my dad just locked eyes with my butthole. So I think I have a bigger issue. Keep in mind, I am 32 years old. 32. This should not be happening to women our age.
Oh my God.
It's true. If you're 18, it's like, all right, well, you didn't know how to lock the door. But like, okay. So we have an update. Sadly, Butthole Guy and I only made it 3 more dates after this tragedy. I was hoping it'd be a great story at our wedding, but he turned out to be a total doorknob. I've never heard anybody say that before, but that's pretty funny. Luckily, my dad and I are super close and we were able to semi-awkwardly laugh it off, but we have never spoken about it again until last weekend when he decided to drunkenly bring it up at dinner. I don't know why I thought this was an appropriate time to clear the air, but he definitely knows now that he has to announce himself before just letting himself in. Thanks for checking in and looking forward to hearing your episode. You guys are the SPS. I'm sure there are more guys out there just waiting to have a super unfulfilling and awkward sexual encounter with me. So I'll be sure to fill you in when it happens again. So I'm glad that you and your dad are okay. Listen, my dad watches our live shows. He knows all about Ashley's vagina. He knows about my first vibrator. After the live show last week, he knows what I wrote in my journal. He knows I was getting just banged out by dudes at 19. So I don't know. Listen, dads at some point, I guess, accept that their daughters are people.
Yeah, I still want my dad to see my butthole. Next, let's talk about Spaghetti Hands. Just quick update. You guys really do want to know about Spaghetti Hands. This was a girl that her boyfriend's family, they reached into the the spaghetti pot with their bare hands. So she told us, and you guys thought this was crazy. It's crazy. She said, my boyfriend and I are still together. I finally brought up the situation and how I felt to him, and now I make fun of him for it every time I cook noodles. LOL. My mom also bought him one of those spaghetti spoons. That is so funny. Her mom was like, listen, your family's fucked up. I have not eaten spaghetti with his family since this day. I have, however, talked to several people and no one thinks this is a normal thing to do. My real question now is which of his parents started this? Surely they did not both come from families who use their hands to scoop noodles, right? Okay, so we'll get an update next time if she can crack that code.
I still, honestly, even though some girl's dad saw her butthole and there's Bunion corrector, this is one of the weirdest emails to me. I can't imagine it.
I know. It's hard to picture.
I can't imagine it.
We got one email or one DM. I forget where this came through. And some girl said that her family did that too. So we did get like one more like validator.
I don't understand this. Yeah. Okay, this is just a quick update because with Kelly Knight's episode, we were asking Kelly to basically just give some feedback on some different things. And this girl's sister was dating her roommate.
Yeah. So Kelly pulled cards for these people.
Right. And we were just talking about whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. What was Kelly's exact feedback?
I think Kelly said it was good. And because the email was kind of crazy. Just like her sister was dating her roommate. That's kind of not the order of how things go. It felt very like new girl, but we all felt good about it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have an update for you guys to let you know how it's going. Okay. Hello, queens. Hey, girl. Kelly Knight read my email about my sister that was dating her roommate, and you guys were all rooting for her. Well, I am shocked and so excited to share that she married him last week.
Oh my God.
Kelly was right. He really is a king. Treats her like the royalty that she is. As Kelly said it was very fast and no breaks, but we couldn't be happier for them. I officiated the wedding with 5 days notice on a sunny day in San Francisco. Here are some pictures because my sister is the hottest wifey ever. Can't wait for the live show. And she shared pictures. They really, really are so beautiful.
Oh, they're so, and they just had like a small little thing, like, you know, like overlooking San Francisco. Okay. This is crazy because that was in the fall. I mean, like they were just started dating in the fall and they're married. That's really great. You guys asked a lot about the girl who was thinking about women from Kelly's episode. I talked to her. I feel like you guys are like, does she have a girlfriend? Yeah, she does not. She's actually still with her boyfriend, but some things have happened and she feels closer to him than ever. And she feels really supported and she feels in a really good place with her boyfriend in that relationship. So I know you guys were curious. Don't need to read her whole story, but you know, she just was like, I hope I don't let anybody down. We're like, girl, as long as you're happy. So she's doing great.
Yeah. And
that guy was great. Remember?
I think that she feels like you and me and the audience inspired her and empowered her to have have those conversations with him, and she did. At least he knows. And it's on the table, and
then there was one more that Kelly pulled the devil. Remember that?
Yep.
I forget the whole story. Kelly pulled the devil card, and that girl touched base and said he was the devil, and it was awful.
Oh my God.
And it was worse than we could have even anticipated. Okay. Last one. This one overwhelmingly
shook.
This was crazy. I'm not going to read the whole email. Bottom line, this girl was engaged, and her fiance was going to have his ex in their wedding. He stayed close with his ex-girlfriend, and she was going to be in the wedding, and she was getting like really crazy, and she was like kind of a bully. It was wild. We were all like so shook by it. Like, how could this possibly happen? We met her, the girl who wrote the email, in Miami in April 2019, and we couldn't believe she was there. She goes back and forth between like Canada and Miami, whatever. So we met her in person. We were so excited to meet her. She's such an icon for the story. And so we were like, whatever happened with the ex in the bridal party? And she said, unfortunately, as our wedding was supposed to be in 2020, I am one of those COVID brides that has had to postpone. Our new date is set for later this year, and come hell or high water or XGF, we are getting married. One good thing is we are getting married in Canada, and currently they have a mandatory 3-day quarantine upon entering the country. So although I don't put it past her to show up, it's going to cost her a little more than she probably anticipates. That's keep her out. Okay. As things progressed following that email I sent 2 years ago, my fiance finally saw how crazy she really was and no longer wanted her part of his groomsmen. I dodged that literal bullet, I hope. She continued to slander me on social media for about a year or so after I sent you that email. I thought that was it until I started receiving threatening letters in the mail with no return address. Unclear how she got our house address. I haven't received anything yet this year, but try not to speak too soon. She remains in contact with my fiance's groomsmen, prying them for information on our new wedding details and trying to have them join her in ambushing our wedding. They too don't understand why she is so fixated on our relationship, and after nearly 4 years, why she can't move on. At this point, I don't put it past her to show up at our wedding or even our doorstep. Going to need GGE bodyguards at the wedding to take a bitch out if needed. If she's serious, we'll put the call out. We have so many Canadian listeners. We'll have you guys go stand guard.
That is crazy.
Oh man, I left out the fact that my fiance and their mutual friends have asked her multiple times to stop harassing me. I think these attempts only fueled her fire, and he's broken off all contact with her for almost 2 years now. Okay. Something to note that I learned after all this started, that her and my fiance had been broken up for nearly a year before I met him. They remained friends. She helped him when his mom died, as I said in my first email, and she helped him move on for residency. He had dated a few other girls casually prior to meeting me, but I was the first one that was Instagram, Facebook official. The only thing I can drum up is that she was thinking their friendship would lead back into a more romantic relationship at some point, and that me being in the picture would jeopardize that. To this day, I've still never had a conversation with her or replied back to any of the slander, notes, or threats, just trying to ride it out like the horse girl I am. Also, like, we really love this girl. Her energy is so great. We're so glad we got to meet her in person. And she just like, she really did keep her cool through all of this. And it's like, it benefited her. She just had faith in her relationship. She just chilled out. And her fiance finally saw the light.
Well, we're really happy for her that she wrote it out and they got to this place and that they're in a... Anytime I can use a horse girl pun. We're excited that you guys are getting married, and we'll send the GG squad to protect your wedding. You just ask, girl. We'll fire up the Facebook group just for it.
We'll get foot shop girl in there to mobilize, and she'll teach all you guys how to do foot shops at the reception.
What if the foot squad was outside her wedding?
Okay. So we are going to move into the last part of this episode, the most emotional part of this episode. And this is that we asked you guys how your lives have changed in the past 3 years. Okay, here's the thing. These emails, like, we don't do this to like jerk each other off. This was an idea from a listener. Like, we're not like, tell us how we changed your life. We wanted to know how your life has changed. And you guys say these things and we're going to read them because they're your words. And this is not self-serving. I think it's very like, a lot of people will resonate with a lot of these stories. Mm-hmm. And I think more than anything, yes, they're like, Girls Gotta Eat helped me. We are so honored. It means so much, but like, it's more so just inspiring.
But also, you helped yourselves, like you heard something that inspired you and you took the reins and you did it, and how many of us hear something that's inspiring and don't even take 1 minute to try to put those things into action. So every one of these things is something that you guys did. And we love and appreciate your emails.
Yes, I agree. So do you want to kick it off?
Yes, I do. I'm going to kick it off. Thank you for sending Ashley. Ashley labeled this blowjobs and I was like, it's fine. Okay. Since starting to listen to GGE in October 2018, I have adopted a dog, R.I.P. King Dewey. Told a guy that blowjobs are for boyfriends to get out of giving one. Subsequently got very into giving blowjobs to the point where it's maybe my favorite thing to do to a guy. Girl, I masturbate to blowjobs.
Why is she both of us?
Why is she? I masturbated the other day to giving roadhead. Okay. Anyways. Bought enough liquid IV to always save me when I'm hungover, tired, whatever.
Code GG.
Masturbated so much more and used different methods and ways to get me in the mood. I thought you were gonna like hype me after every line. Okay.
Oh.
Take it.
Okay. Do it again.
Masturbated so much more and used different methods and ways to get me in the mood. Taken and sent fire naked pics to a guy.
Hey.
Survived a pandemic, laughing with you ladies all along the way. And so much more. Thanks for spending time with me each and every week. The number of times I've related to you both is insane. It makes me feel not so alone in this world that can sometimes be very insanely lonely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You really were just like, so are you going to do a sound effect?
I was just like, did I not read that one okay? Honestly, we have said this since like day one. If we can make one person feel less alone, like somebody else is exactly like you, then like we have done our job. And girl, you are not alone. If you can dream it, if it's something you're going through, someone else is too.
Yeah, and go off with all your masturbating and blowjobs and liquid IV and all the things.
I couldn't be happier than when somebody DMs me that they gave a blowjob to completion. They masturbated to a blowjob. They sent fire nudes. I might be the most proud of this girl.
I know. Okay. I'm going to read the next one. This one starts, you women have changed my life. Picture this, 23-year-old virgin who had her first date and first kiss 6 months prior to the start of your show. I would send paragraphs of text to my Bumble matches, would get loads of dick pics and hardly get asked on a date. I stumbled across your show while working in a graduate school research lab, and I remember laughing to myself and at the past dating mistakes as I was completing my experiments. I love this, her experiments. I just picture her with like a beaker and she's like, God, I was so fucked up.
She sent the first line. She's like, did not nail that.
Yeah. Okay. Since listening to your show, I've gained a healthy dose of confidence in asking for what I want in a relationship and not being afraid if the person I'm seeing cannot meet my needs. I bought a vibrator and read She Comes First, written by previous guest Ian Kerner, and have had well over 100 orgasms. Go off for counting.
Does she count?
I love it. If she's got little tick marks in her journal. Okay. I have bought a vibrator for 3 other women in my life so they too can experience orgasms.
100 vibrators. Yeah.
100 orgasms. I bought my first dildo and took my own virginity after listening to Like a Virgin as I was petrified to have sex for the first time. Later, I got my first boyfriend, confidently made my sexual debut, broke up with my first boyfriend, tried being friends with my boyfriend, and then after I learned he voted for Trump, blocked my ex-boyfriend. Go off!
Guys, my jaw's on the floor.
I'm so thankful I've had you, Ash and Raina, and the GGE gang supporting me. You are the first thing I listened to on Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. and you have awoken this beautiful... You have awoken this beautiful, confident, kind, and sexual being. I mean this with all my heart. I love you, and I'm so grateful for the lessons I've learned from your podcast.
Guys,
God damn. Like a virgin.
She took her own virginity.
Yeah.
She's
I mean,
so savage.
People, I am like that. Thank you for normalizing that. I've definitely heard about that where you're so petrified for like what's going to happen when something goes inside of you, if you're going to bleed, how it's going to feel. You do it yourself. Who cares?
I'm crying. Yeah, I know I'm crying. Sorry. I want to respond to what you said, but I'm crying. No matter how many of your emails we read, I still cry to all of them. Okay. And all right, next one. I've been wanting to write this email to y'all for some time now to thank you both. In November of 2018, I found out I was pregnant. I was 20 years old. I was ashamed and went through my abortion alone. It was through that dark time that I found y'all's podcast. After my abortion, I lost the fun, wild Amy that I had always been. Y'all's podcast allowed old Amy to come back. Y'all remind me how beautiful and strong women are. Y'all remind me to love myself and forget what the haters say because I literally don't care anymore. Raina remind me to bring out my sex toys and keep cooking, not at the same time. Ashley remind me to be a boss-ass bitch and bring out my inner Beyonce. I'm truly grateful for you both and constantly listen to the podcast and hope one day I'll see you both live in Austin, Texas. Sorry for all the y'alls. I was raised in Texas and it rubbed on me. Thank you again for bringing out the fierce Texan Rican that I was hiding for too long.
Oh my God. I know. It's heavy.
We're just so proud that you guys
and these can speak to someone. Like, the next one is like, we debated because it's really long, but this one I just think might resonate with people. So she says, so let's create the scene. It's 2018. I'm engaged, getting married in the fall. I pretended I'd everything figured out. My friends thought I had everything figured out, but I didn't. I had my true feelings and acted and responded and made decisions based on what others wanted, not me. I got married that fall. I was excited truly, but there was something in me that wasn't feeling it. I had hoped it would go away, but alas, it didn't. We bought a house a few months later. I wasn't excited. I began listening to you guys early in 2019 and talking about relationships, and all of that helped me truly realize what I was feeling, why I felt it, and that I can't keep hiding it. So then COVID hits. I told no one, but hoped quarantine would help. It didn't. It got worse. I began to actually hate being home and being in the same room as this person and felt trapped because I couldn't go anywhere. When my office opened in July, you bet your ass I went in. Going into the office still didn't help. And so finally one day I come home and finally release this pressure built in me by telling him I'm not happy. It was so fucking hard. I literally held on to this for over a year. And to be honest, I thank you too in some way because you've inspired me to think for me, not for everyone else or care about everyone else. One of my issues about saying this out loud was to not disappoint others, but you guys taught me that by not disappointing others, I will continue to disappoint myself. So here I am. It's been about 3-4 months since I've said it to him. Divorce is underway and I feel so fucking amazing. It's sad and I'm sad, but I finally feel free. Truly, I am so happy to be going through this. I've learned so much about myself and what I want in a partner. I wish I realized this before, but I was a dumb 22-year-old who said yes to an engagement and a 24-year-old who got married without truly wanting it, but faking it. And now I'm a 26-year-old who's smarter, wiser, and a boss-ass bitch. I'm so happy for my growth and for finally choosing myself before anyone else. So thank you both for helping to shed the light. I'm growing into a beautiful sunflower because of you. Love, your sunflower child.
You guys, I'm so proud of her. And honestly, like anytime you choose yourself, I'm just like proud of you guys. You know, you're not going to make anybody happy by choosing their happiness and, you know, staying just to make them happy.
Yep.
And that guy will thank you. Okay. I'm going to pull myself together. God damn it. Okay, this next one, it's a little lighter. I'll make you guys laugh. And it's from a woman, just to clarify. I have been listening since day one. Fast forward to now, I bought a house, got my master's, got my job, making 6 figures, got engaged, got married, and got a second dog, both Southern Rescues, and sending love to Ash and Dewey.
Yes.
But what you are probably interested in, looking at you, Raina, took some sex tips from you ladies and switched it up in the bedroom. I blindfolded and went down on my wife. This bitch literally thought it was because she started shaving a landing strip. But anyways, keep slaying, girls. I read it at first and thought a man was referring to his wife as this bitch, which made me laugh anyways, but Ashley clarified.
Yeah, and then I was like, no, this is for a woman. But it was so funny because she was like, my wife thought that I started going down on her because she had a landing strip. She's like, no, it's this podcast I've been listening to.
But also like shave landing strips, you know?
Yeah. Okay. There's a little bit of a trigger warning for this one. If that's going to be triggering to you guys about suicide. It's not too graphic, but may as well give that. Okay. She says, I first just want to say thank you. I'm tearing up even as I'm beginning to type this out because I truly can't thank you ladies enough. A little over 2 years ago, I was in a very all-consuming relationship with who I thought was my person. We had gone through an abortion together. His family took me in because of physical abuse from my family, and he was everything I didn't know I wanted or needed. Eventually we broke up, and that day I knew it was for real this time. That night I overdosed and tried to take my own life, but was later revived. I went through liver failure, a psychiatric stay, and all the therapy you could ever imagine. However, around this time, there was a podcast you ladies put out called Breakup Boot Camp with Amy Chan. After I listened to this episode, I completely broke down. I didn't feel alone anymore or like the pathetic girl who would kill herself over a guy. I can't even describe in words how much that episode meant to me. All of it just resonated and it gave me the push I needed to actually move on. I still suffer with depression and anxiety, but listening to this podcast holds me accountable each week and has become a way for me to track my progress in my growth. She's like, not journey, LOL. We still say journey, girl. It's fine. I can now confidently say I'm in a good place mentally with an absolutely incredible job in cybersecurity, and I'm living my truth. It may not be the truth of who I was back then, but the truth I'm living now is much more fulfilling. Thank you, ladies, for getting me through the difficult times of the best guests, the best comedy when I need it, and the constant love you make your fans feel. I wouldn't be here without the help of your podcast. I love you both and hope to see you soon at a live show. Oh my God.
We are going to wrap it up with something funny, but it's such an honor to make you guys feel like this and help you to find a community. And whether it's through our words or our guest words or the writing that they have, it's like we rarely ever get an email from somebody where I think like, this is the first time I've ever heard this. Like somebody is always experiencing what you're experiencing.
While we're here, we have an episode coming out on Monday with an incredible guest who's going to talk more about depression and anxiety. So if you guys have any of that going on, it should be a great episode for you.
Yeah. Okay. I've quit my toxic job, started my own business and killing it, saying no to men that haven't done the work and saying hell yes to all the sexy butt stuff. You ladies are a force of good. Thank you for all you've done in helping people make little shifts that will transform their realities.
Well, thank you guys. We wouldn't be here without you guys 3 years later. So we can't thank you enough. And this just means the world. You know, people say mean things to us, but like these are a reminder that like why we do what we do and that we are an amazing community and that it's overwhelmingly positive and supportive and loving. And so we love you guys.
Yeah. And
most of you.
Yeah, most of you. You guys say all the time that we like change your lives, but like you changed my life and Ashley changed my life and this community of women and the couple men that listen. I'm a totally different person than I was 3 years ago. It's because of these stories. It's because of these emails. It's because of our guests. It's made me like a much more, I'm going to stop crying. It's made me a much more accepting person, accepting of myself, accepting of other people. Everyone's just human. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a different life experience. It's brought them there. And we are so honored to be the place that you guys tell your stories.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
I echo all of that too. I say this all the time. I say this all the time now. Like it like gets to me that we can't respond to all of these, you know what I mean? Like we just have a job to do. Like we can't, we could actually spend all day answering emails and like we can feel that we can feel them in our heart. Like, I couldn't ever possibly respond to all the messages I got about Dewey. Like I wouldn't be able to work and it would take a lot out of me. But like, we just thank you guys so much. If we didn't read it on the episode or we didn't respond to you, like we are just so thankful that you trust us with your story and thank you for sharing it with us. And it wasn't because it wasn't as good or as important. We could only read a few for timing and we just thank you guys for even submitting them.
Yeah. And what we promised you is for the next 3 years, the next however many years you will allow us to, we'll make a great show. We'll have great guests. We will do everything we can to put out the best product and show that we can to uplift you guys, to make your lives better and
to help you divorce your husband.
Yeah. And get butt stuff.
Get those rescue dogs.
100 orgasms.
Butt stuff. Break up with toxic men. Get a rescue dog.
Better nudes.
Yes. Better blowjobs. All the things.
Have better divorces.
Have better divorces. Or don't get married in the first place.
Yeah. Have no kids. Don't get married. Be like us.
Eat your wife's pussy better.
All right. We love you guys. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yes. Thank you. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, we have a really great life-changing episode coming on Monday for you. So in just a few days. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, you know where to find us, girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. We are Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and Ash Hess and Raina.Greenberg on Instagram, girls_gotta eat on Twitter and youtube.com/girls gotta eat. And we'll see you Monday.
Thanks guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye.